My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey gang, welcome back. Today our special guest is Brendon Dedekind, and he is zooming in from beautiful Orlando, Florida. And Brendon is a very experienced real estate developer. He works for a big company. He's working with Trammell Crow Company, and they have a ton of experience in doing large development. So Brendon, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Yeah, great to be with you, Dave.
So give us a little snapshot for folks that aren't familiar with your company. What do you guys do? Just like 30,000 foot perspective.
Yeah, what we like to do is we try and take a landowner's piece of land and turn it from dirt into dollars. So that's our primary goal, right? So we're in the land business, and so finding landowners that are ready to monetize their land, and that will give us the time to get the entitlements we need from the government to build what we want to build. We generally build office buildings, medical office buildings, life science buildings, warehouse buildings, industrial, general category, and multifamily. Obviously, those cycle through in different times. So our primary product focus right now is probably industrial warehousing, data centers, and residential multifamily type product.
Interesting. So what is your position in the company, Brendon? What do you do?
Yes, I'm responsible for the whole Florida market. And so anything that happens in Florida comes under my responsibility and my servanthood with the team. So we're busy building a team. I've been with the team now in Florida for 4 years. We now have a team that we're building, and we're adding different product lines to the team. And so making sure that we are good partners to land sellers, making sure that we are good partners to the brokers in the community, and then also making sure that we are good stewards of the capital that's invested in us. That includes both the Trammell Crow capital that goes into the deals, as well as the capital partners that invest in our deals.
Okay, so you're in charge of Florida. Let's zoom out for a second. What does the team nationwide look like for Trammell Crow?
Yeah, good question. So there's 20 different offices across the country. We call them market teams or business unit teams. And then those focus on certain geographies. But if there's a geography outside of that focus area that a global customer of ours wants to run into, we can also do what we call deals on wheels, where we'll go into that market, and either because of the land location or the landowner or the tenant, because at the end of the day, everything we do in commercial real estate is for the tenants, we can go into any part of the country or also in the UK. And so we have a semi-global footprint. And then Trammell Crow Company is also wholly owned by CBO REIT Group Inc., which is a Fortune 130 company. And so we're a very well capitalized and a very well resourced platform.
All right. So your team, so there's 20 different teams across the country, 20 different markets, Florida being one of those. Am I understanding?
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
So just give me an idea. What does your team look like these days in Florida? You've been building it for the last 4 years. What does a team for Trammell Crow look like?
Yeah. Very good question, Dave. So obviously we have all the corporate resources that mostly sit in Dallas that we have access to that multiply the team effect on the ground. But on the ground, we currently have a team of 3 of us. And that's kind of your core Trammell Crow team. So you have a deal leader, and then a deal analyzer, and then you have a deal executor. And so that's the core team. And then from there, we're busy building the team. Our goal is to have 15 people in the team over the next 5 years.
Okay. And okay, very, very good. So in the Florida market, what kind of projects have you guys been working on over the last few years?
We have successfully monetized a couple of warehouse projects. So we've round tripped a couple of warehouse deals. We have a couple of warehouse deals that we finished this year that are available for leasing. And then we have a couple of other sites that we have control. And most of our portfolio right now is focused on the industrial warehousing side. We're also actively talking to landowners that are involved in the data center space. And then we're also talking to some landowners and some potential team members in the residential multifamily space. The value proposition we have on the data center side is we actually have a specialized team that covers the whole country. So we become the land experts. We go find the land, and then we can develop that data center with our data center team that they've developed, I think, over 50 data centers as a team across the country. So we have a special operations team that comes and teams up with us on the data center side because it is a very specialized product type.
Very cool. Very interesting. So when you're looking for properties, I guess obviously it depends on what you're looking to build on them, but what size and what kind of location of properties are you typically looking for your standard type projects?
Yeah, so let's just focus on industrial for this conversation
Sure.
because that probably keeps it simple for everyone. We always want to be close to the rooftops, right? So we're in the consumption game. So the way I like to say it is an apartment is where someone lives, a warehouse is where something sleeps. So we are building those warehouses, anything from 1 million square foot building down to 100,000 square foot building. So generally speaking, we are targeting land sites that are 10 acres up to 1,000 acres or 2,000 acres. And we really want to be in a very efficient location for the site access. So think of a 53-foot tractor trailer driving in and out of the site. Does that access work? Are there signalized interchanges? Is there efficient access onto the highways and byways? And then how close are you to the end consumer? You don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere. That doesn't mean in the middle of nowhere it doesn't work. There are some deals that happen in the middle of nowhere, but from a speculative development standpoint, you want to be as close to the rooftops as possible.
Okay, so are you guys a build to sell developer, or do you build them, lease them, and hold them long term? What's kind of the big picture
Yeah,
strategy?
so we are what I think in the industry generically is called merchant developers.
Mm.
So we want to add value to the land seller by giving him money. Then we want to add value to the tenant by giving them good space. And then we want to add value to our investors by multiplying their equity. And so we generally achieve that. A kind of general rule of thumb for an industrial deal is it's going to take us 12 months to go get the building permit. It's going to take us 12 months to build the building. And then it's going to take us 12 months to lease and fully stabilize the building. And at that point, our job is done and we are going to monetize that asset. Our capital partner may want to hold the asset long term and buy us out, or they may go to market with us and sell the building with us. And we're agnostic either way. It is beneficial to have clarity with your capital partner if their intent is to stay in.
Mm.
But we have clarity with our capital partners that we will always monetize when we have maximized the value of the asset.
Cool. All right. So typically, I mean, every deal is different, but about a 3 year turnaround from finding the
Yeah,
property
depending on
to
product, it could be
land
a
closure.
3 year deal to a 5 year deal. And then
Mm.
again, remember if it's a 1,000 acre piece of property, that we could be on that project for 5 to 10 years. And that's why it's very, very important. The bigger your deal, you really want to team up with a platform that's very well capitalized, not only in capital, but in the resources in the platform that will be able to not only buy that land over time in a phased approach, but also be able to kind of buy that land quicker than anyone else would buy it.
All right. So obviously, you're a big fan of this whole merchant developer process, and I can see a lot of big benefits to that. All the way from finding the land, getting it rezoned, getting it built out, getting it leased, getting it sold. I mean, you're adding massive levels of value at each stage of the game there, for you, for the landowner, for you, for your investors. But it can't all be sunshine and flowers, Brendon. So what are some of the downfalls to the whole merchant developer side of things?
Well, Dave, I actually think the whole thing is really difficult, and I sometimes wonder why I do it. So I used to be, I used to be a swimmer, and then I was a farm boy before that, and I'm like, man, I definitely like to choose the difficult things. So it is very challenging. I think the more challenging the journey, the more rewarding the result at the end.
Yeah.
But it is very difficult. I would tell you the most challenging thing is I've got to run a 3 year race, and I'm in control of very little.
Mm,
And so the best example I could give you is that the feds can change the federal funds rate. That
right.
single-handedly can take my asset on the exit and reduce the value by 50%. So if we go from a 3% cap rate where we almost were at the lowest point in industrial, and if you go to a 6%, you say, well, that's only a 3% change. I'm like,
Mm,
yes, but it's 100%
yeah.
change,
That's
right?
huge.
And so So we have to forecast the future and we have to kind of assess the risk of what is going to happen in the economy, what's going to happen in the cap rates, and what's going to happen with market rents, because those are actually the two biggest movers on the exit value. And so we
Mm.
have to be very disciplined when we underwrite a deal. And the way I like to say it is amateurs practice to get it right and pros practice not to get it wrong.
Mm.
And so we have to be very disciplined. And the tricky part that can happen with that, Dave, is that an amateur can come in and say, hey, I'll pay you $15 million for the land. And our spreadsheets and underwriting say it's really only worth 10 million. And so we have to be disciplined and stay at the $10 million offer. And then 6 months, 12 months later, the land seller comes back to us and says, hey, that guy didn't close on that land. We're like, well, we told you. And I've found a lot, there are some landowners that really focus on, hey, when is your $100,000 deposit going to be non-refundable? And I'm
Mm.
like, hey, let's rather focus on me getting you the $10 million that you want rather than focusing on getting 100,000. Because if I give you 100,000 and we drop the site, you're not happy, I'm not happy. And I'd rather focus on finding a way to get us both to the happiness curve.
Yeah, I can see there being huge challenges with that. So getting the land under contract is like a whole thing. Is that a major part of your focus, your day to day?
Yes. So we
Yeah.
have, yes, my job is if we don't have, we've never figured out how to build buildings on clouds. So we need land. And so we have to go find those good, great pieces of land. And then let's just say that that takes, sometimes it can take 3 months, sometimes it can take 3 or 5 years. Then you get control of the site. And then you have to go to the government and you have to get them to help you to get a
Yeah.
permit.
Then
And
the
that's
work
an
starts.
adventure in and of
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, Brandon. No, that's got to be frustrating. Do you find a lot of your deals on market or off market or both? Are you typically just working with brokers or do you go direct to seller as well?
Very good question. I would say we will opportunistically chase all of the above.
Yeah.
What we have generally found to be most successful is to find off-market deals, either where the broker brings us the off-market
Mm.
deal or we have the off-market deal ourselves. We find it ourselves. From my standpoint, it is very important and very valuable to actually meet the land seller so that we can understand what's important to them and we can understand their expectations. Because if their expectations are, I want $20 million dollars and I want it in 90 days, and I'm not deviating from that, we don't need to engage because it's not going to work like that.
Hmm.
And so we underwrite deals where we look at the land seller, and any land broker that's involved with them. Because sometimes I've done a lot of sport, and in most sports that you play, right? If you and I play a tennis match and I beat you, I won and you lost. Like, and that will always be true in all history of time. In business, sometimes winning the deal and getting under contract can actually feel like winning, but you're actually losing. Because then you go spend $1 million on the side and you figure out these numbers don't actually work.
Mm.
And then you have to go back to the land seller hat in hand and say, I can't pay you that 20 million. I can only pay you 18. They perceive that you're trying to pull one over on them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, no, no. I've built these spreadsheets. I can only pay you 18 million. I've already spent $1 million. So it's not like I'm messing you around. I'm sincere in my pursuit. But for one reason or another, it could be market driven with the rental rates, leasing demand, or the federal funds rate. The market has shifted, the spreadsheets have changed. It's all financial engineering. And that's where we do our best to show the land sellers our intent is to buy your land and build on your land. We are not land flippers. We are not trying to take your land and make money on your land. We are
Mm.
trying to put your land into production. And if you can give us the time to achieve the permitting, we will get it out of the ground and we will get this project going. And making sure that Trammell Crow's track record in our brand, which is we mean what we say what we mean, and we try to do what we mean. And we'll always strive to keep the landowner up to speed and respect the fact that they're giving us control of their land. We want to do right by the landowners and the land sellers.
That makes a lot of sense, Brendan. Maybe as we're kind of wrapping this up, walk us through, paint us a picture of your favorite deal to date that you've been involved with Trammell Crow.
That's like asking me which one's my favorite kid,
Well,
right?
you have one, you just don't like to admit it. That's all.
It depends on the situation, I think.
Depends on the day. Yeah. So, which
Exactly.
one comes
Yeah.
to mind right now?
Yeah, I would say for me, Dave, what I find very, very pleasing is when I can write a check to a land seller. I have a tenant in a building that says thank you. I have a capital partner that says thank you very much for outperforming your underwriting. And I was able to also serve the community by building a building that's a quality building in the neighborhood with general contractors that they make have jobs and they do their work. So that's at a high level. We did do all the deals we've earned out on two warehouse deals in Tampa, and we have two existing buildings on the market for lease in Orlando right now. And I'd say those are my favorite deals. The ones in Tampa because we've earned out and performed in line with expectation. We actually outperformed underwriting. And then in Orlando, we have two very beautiful warehouse buildings that are on the market available for lease. And so those kids are like doing really well out there. And so we're really excited to be teamed up with CBRE on the leasing. The project is called the Popka Business Center. It's in Orlando, Florida. And we're very excited to have those on the market.
Very cool. Brendon, if people want to connect with you, what should they do?
Just go on LinkedIn and look up my name and feel free to link up with me or send me a DM.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the very best with the company and your future projects. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for your time, Dave. Very much appreciated. Have a fantastic evening.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next one. Hey there. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.